Welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, America's #1 podcast for new real estate investors, where we know that finding discounted properties is the most proven path to financial freedom. I am your host, Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People, and I am telling you this with all certainty. If I can do it, so can you. So let's get started. This wholesaler that I'm going to be speaking with on this podcast today is out of Austin, Texas. Now, he doesn't do business in Austin. He does business in Houston, and he does business in Jacksonville. But listen to these stats. Over the last 5 months, he started 5 months ago. So this is for everybody that's just getting started, that's just wondering, can I make a big impact quickly? This is going to be the concrete evidence that you need to just supercharge your efforts in this business, because this is incredible. Listen to this. In 5 months, all right, since March, he's closed 7 deals. 4 wholesale deals for $65,000 and 3 that he kept for himself with equity that he added to his rental portfolio. Not only that, but he's got 7 other properties under contract right now. If you are curious, how is he doing this? We're going to break it all down in this conversation. It is my pleasure to introduce from Austin, Texas, Gal Schmookler. Gal, say hello to everybody.
Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing?
This is exciting. I mean, when we were going over this, we were pulling these stats. I was like, I really want to hook people in early because I think you've got an incredible story and you've got an incredible machine running that is truly going quick. I mean, you came out of the gates really fast. So before we get into that, let's give a little bit of context on who you are and what brought you into the world of wholesaling real estate. So before wholesaling, tell us about yourself, Gal.
So my name is Gal. I'm almost 35 years old. I actually moved to Austin 8 months ago from Tel Aviv, Israel. And you guys have a lot of fans from Israel, actually. So we moved 8 months ago. In Israel, actually, I started in the fitness industry. So I've been doing it for many years. We had a fitness business, studios, personal trainers, a lot of this. I remember few of my clients were actually doing real estate, and I was fascinated about it and really want to do it. So I remember in the age of 26, I convinced myself to do my first real estate deal, to buy a property. So I saved some money and I bought a property in Israel. And the thing is with Israel, so the market is very small and very expensive, and the yield is low. So being a real estate investor in Israel is very, very tough. It's almost impossible. So what I did actually, because I wanted to do real estate. So actually, after a few more years, I decided to sell my company and to join to a real estate firm, one of the biggest in Israel. And I started a role as a sales manager because I think best thing about being in the fitness industry as a personal trainer is talking to people. That was I'm best with talking to people. It's the same real estate, I don't know, personal training, coaching. That was my strength, and I joined as a sales manager, and I think I was fine with it. And then eventually my wife actually got a job offer from the States, and we needed to move. So I had almost 1 year that I was preparing for this thing, for moving to a different country. My English, I still have an accent. I'm trying to do my best. And I actually thought about it as, an opportunity. Okay, Gal, you have a chance, fulfill your dream. Do the real estate that you've been so fascinated about. So we moved to Austin. You want me to continue with the story?
Yeah. So once you got to Austin, I mean, you obviously had some experience doing real estate, doing some sales in Tel Aviv, and then you come to Austin fresh I mean, you're just fresh. Do you become a real estate
Fresh.
agent? Do you go straight into
I wasn't a real
investing?
estate agent, by the way, just a sales manager, not a real
Right.
estate agent. Yeah, I
Okay.
was in the field.
So you
Yeah.
come here and do what?
So I came to Austin and I was thinking, okay, I saved a little bit of money. So let's think, how can I do real estate? So Austin is an amazing market, but already very expensive. So yeah, you can buy a property and to wait for appreciation, but to make it a business, it's quite tough, especially for somebody who begins. And one of my best friend actually was doing real estate in Jacksonville for a long time. So they have their company over there. And so after a week, I just took a flight and went to meet him and to see the opportunities. It's all thanks to my wife. Yeah, she let me be there for 3 weeks. So I remember, being in Israel, and when I started that, I want to do this journey. I was obsessed with the US market. I was reading books. I was listening to one podcast of the Bigger Pockets. Was really kind of got me the push. And just to understand, how can I be financial free? How can I get your financial freedom and build a real business? So I remember the first 2 weeks in Jacksonville, I was actually meeting many realtors. And honestly, I didn't find anything. It was too expensive, especially then the market was very high and didn't suit my criteria. So then one day I met a friend of a friend that had a property and he really needed the money. It wasn't too expensive. He wanted $75,000 for the property. And I did my ARVs. I knew a little bit about it. And I see that the property, for my opinion, was 120. So, well, that looks like a good deal. We closed it for, that's a good story. We closed it for 75. And actually yesterday, I got the appraisal for the property because I'm cashing out. It was, like 7 months ago. And the appraisal got for 174.
Incredible.
174.
Incredible.
Yeah. So.
And this is a rental for you.
This is a rental. It's already rented. Yeah, I got the appraisal. I'm cashing out. I'm actually making money, and still it's gonna be cash flowing. Mm-hmm. But the thing with this deal that it make me think, okay, so I did it once, but how can I make it a business? Like, how can I do it more? And we have actually a group, Israeli group on Facebook, and it's doing people who are doing wholesaling. And I remember hearing about wholesaling in the past with the one course I did a year ago in Israel, but not too much. So I hear all those batch and roar and prop stream. It all sounds like cartoons to me. I didn't know anything, honestly, but it looked like a chance. So I posted okay, I'm looking to do a wholesaling course. Can you recommend something? So one guy sent me a message and say, okay, you have to talk to this guy, to Brent Daniels. He's the best. And the funny thing, so I Googled you. I saw, listened to a few podcasts, a few videos, and the best thing that kind of opened my eyes is that talk to people, because you are honestly making it simple. People are trying to invent the wheel and do this and do that, and we have the best strategy. But you are only talking to people. That's it. Many ways, but that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. So
I love it. And I love that Facebook group. They do an amazing amount of deals. I'm telling you, the group over there that's in Tel Aviv, and they're running. I mean, they are the masters at virtual wholesaling. I'll tell you that. And really, I mean, you're essentially doing virtual wholesaling. Are you ever going to these properties? Ever walking them?
So I didn't, but that's the thing. I have my people. I have a partner in Houston. I have a partner in Jacksonville, and they've both been doing real estate for a long time. So I think it's also about partnership and collaborations and find the right people for you, because nowadays I think the world is easier to find the knowledge with all this Facebook and Instagram. For my personal things, I don't post too much, but I take it as a knowledge. I listen to you. I go into the groups. If I have a question, I ask. So there are so many groups and so many ways to find the good people to fit you. For me, it really helped me. So yeah, so I went back after this deal. I went back to Austin. So I was thinking to myself, okay, I can do it in Jacksonville, or I can look for the closest and best market for my criteria. So Houston kind of answered this question for me. And the second thing, I was looking for a partner. So after looking for like a long time and meeting many people, I found a great guy, and we still work together. And
how did you find him, Gal? I mean, this is a big question. Yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, Facebook. I just posted another Facebook group. I
saw a real estate investing group in Facebook.
Real estate investing Israeli group. He posted something, so I just posted him like, "Hey, it will be glad to meet you. Let's do something together. I can bring this and that. You can bring this and that." Okay, and then I talked to him about the idea of wholesaling. He didn't do wholesaling, so he's been doing like rentals and flip, all of those. And actually, we started wholesaling. I started the course, and eventually, after like 3 weeks, we closed the first deal. So in the beginning,
this is incredible. This is just in the first 3 weeks, and you told me about this. In the first 3 weeks, you were sending out text messages, with just a simple message asking if people would consider an offer. You found a deal in your first 3 weeks. Well, it had to be sooner. I mean, how fast did you close this? It closed in 3 weeks from start?
No. We had the contract after 3 weeks, and we closed after almost 2 months. We closed the deal, but we had the contract and the assignment after 3 weeks, because the assignment came in the same day. My buyers list was kind of small, only 100 properties, but the deal was good. So eventually, I had my buyers. One that I talked to those buyers. So one, I just sent him a message, I want this deal. I can close it right away. I don't need to see the property. He didn't even go to the property. We signed the contract, and after another month, it was closed with the title company and everything. We got our fee, and it was good.
And what'd you make on that? We're gonna ring the bell a couple times on this, but what'd you make on that?
So this one we made $20,000. It's a nice bill. Yeah.
That is awesome. $20,000 first deal, 3 weeks of effort, 3 weeks of being proactive, going after these properties, building in a partner into it so that you have somebody that's boots on the ground in the markets that you're in. You found them through Facebook. I mean, guys, listen, just take notes on this. Like, this is not, we don't have to overcomplicate any part of this process. If you want to do deals anywhere, if you're interested, Here's the thing, the underlying thing here that's not really being mentioned, like really obvious, is Gal's doing this to build his rental portfolio. Okay. Now, if he finds deals where he doesn't want, it's maybe not in the areas that he, wants to hold these properties for a while, he will wholesale it. But your primary objective is to build a robust rental portfolio, right?
Exactly.
Now, people think wholesaling is just getting a property under contract and selling the contract. That is not what wholesaling is. What wholesaling is the art of finding discounted properties. Just like I said in the introduction of the podcast, that I say in the introduction of every podcast that I do on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, it is the most proven path to financial freedom, because you get to cherry pick. You get the opportunity to determine what your exit strategy is for the discounted properties that you find. Are you going to wholesale it? Are you going to flip it? Are you going to hold on to it? Are you going to develop that property if it's a vacant land or something like that? I mean, that is what's so wildly exciting about what we do, Gal. What we do is we find discounted opportunities, and then the sky's the limit. And once we build that skill of finding discounted properties, we are set. We are on the path. We are on the journey. We're pointed in the right direction. The wind is behind our back.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I love it. Isn't
it? It's crazy. Honestly, it's, as you say, bananas. But
bananas. Yeah.
Yeah, but as you say, I don't even call it wholesaling. For me, it's like off marketing, because you are really doing off market. Like when I was looking for deal, I was like with the realtors and actually going into many wholesale groups, and eventually, even when you ask a wholesale, maybe this wholesale have another 50,000 buyers. So you're not the only guy who is talking to, and it's very hard to find really an off-market deal. Only if you do it by yourself, and then you're like negotiating one person. Maybe he's negotiating another two or three, but
Yeah.
not then you can really bring yourself. And if you have a good talk with this person, good rapport, you will close this deal. And there are amazing deals in the market nowadays. It's harder, but honestly, I think it's even better, because eventually it's going to be easier. The market, I think, will crash one time, and then we have more opportunities. So imagine now if we can make it, just try to imagine what's going to be, with the pre-foreclosure, as you talked a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
People really need to sell the properties.
Yep.
And you are there to help them, and you are there to close a good deal. So
yeah, the fact is 90 to 94% of people are going to sell in the market. But what the interesting thing is, the millions of properties, the 6 to 10% of our real estate market that is in some sort of distress at all times, whether the properties just needs to be renovated, whether it needs complete rehab, whether they're in pre-foreclosure, whether they get them from inherited, whether they're behind on property taxes, whether they've been abandoned and vacant for a while. There are so many different, there's 11 million vacant single family houses that have been vacant for over a year in the United States. I am telling you, we serve a market that is completely underserved, because real estate agents are only interested in properties that they can put on the market and earn a commission. Some of the smart ones do it off market and sell it to people like Gal and I. But the fact is, we are going after properties that nobody else is going after. Maybe you think that, there's a lot of competition in your specific market, but truly there are more deals than there is competitors. There's more deals than there are real estate wholesalers out there finding these distressed property owners, having quality conversations with them, and changing their lives by relieving the anxiety and stress of owning this property. So, I mean, it's just a wonderfully rewarding business to be in, to be able to go after and help the people that necessarily won't help themselves. And that's what you're out there doing, Gal, and you've done it now 14 times in 5 months. So the question on everybody's mind is, how are you doing so many deals? What are you doing for lead generation? And before you answer, real quick, just for anybody that's never seen or never heard me before or talk about it, just if you're interested in wholesaling, if you're interested in investing in real estate in general, there's 3 parts that you have to master. The first part is lead generation. That's the engine of your business. That's going to give you opportunities. The second one is conversion. That is converting those opportunities, those leads, into a signed agreement and a commitment. And the third is exit strategy. What do you want to do with that property? So when you're starting out in this business, all your focus should be on lead generation, building up your pipeline of opportunities. So how do you do it, Gal? How do you do it? Educate.
So, yes. So as I said, I don't call it wholesaling. I call it off marketing.
Yep.
Because I have the will. So as you say, I can decide whether to wholesale it or then to buy and hold it. So that's my main goal, to get your financial freedom and to get as many properties as I can to get to my goal. And I know exactly what I want for this goal. I can flip them. I can wholesale them. I can do whatever I want. If I get the deal, I only need to get a deal, and then I have a partner. So my partner in, for example, in Jacksonville, so he has a lot of experience in Jacksonville. So he has his contractors, he has, the property manager and everything. And eventually we are partners because I'm bringing the deal. So just imagine how much power you have when you have this deal, because that's the biggest thing, to find the deal. And we are, as a wholesalers or, real estate investors, when we understand that if we find the deal, we have it all. Because also buying a property, it seems like, okay, it's cost a lot of money, but nowadays, especially in the US, in Israel, it's much, much harder to get a loan because you have like 6 big banks and the properties are very expensive. But here you can really be a real estate investor, because if you find a good deal, eventually you find a lender that will give you most of the money, 80, 90% sometimes. Then you can refinance it. And if you bought it in 50%, and then you go to a loan to value and he give you 75%, so you have equity and you can still cash flow. So that is crazy. So you don't have a lot of money. You don't need to have a lot of money to get to a financial freedom and to make a lot of money. That's the thing. That's what I'm most fascinated about.
So how do you find your deals? Out of these 7 that you closed and 7 under contract, are these all text? Are these cold calls? Are these traditional marketing techniques? How do you find them?
So our techniques is actually cold calling. So in the beginning, I started it myself, as you mentioned, and honestly, I've been following just what you said, because I didn't have an experience. So I took a mentor. And, I was begging you in the beginning, what should I do here and what should I do there?
A lot of text. Yep. A lot of text.
Let's
go through it today. It was great.
Like, what is batch? What is prop stream? I didn't know anything, as I said. So we doing, now I have a VA. In the beginning, we started myself. I did like 1,000 phone calls. Now I have a VA and we do the texting, and we are doing the driving for dollars. So that's basically the 3 strategies.
What are you using for your texting, and what are you using an app for driving for dollars?
So for texting, we use batch leads. They are great. Actually, it's much harder nowadays since June 1st. So a lot of restrictions, but I think it's even better because the deliverability rate is a bit lower and the response is a bit lower. But you have less competition, because I don't text 20, 40,000 messages a day.
We're seeing an increase in quality of leads. Yeah,
exactly. And you need to be more diverse with your messages. You need to think out of the box, because there are many words you cannot use. And I'm not trying to spam. I'm trying to get to the people who need help, and that I can help them. And so you need to be a bit more sophisticated about the messages, but it still can be done.
Okay. What about driving for dollars?
So driving for dollars, we use the Deal Machine app.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very simple. And so you're pulling those, you're getting the numbers, you're calling, you're texting, and that's it? Is that how you're lead generating?
That's it.
Nothing else. Same with us. We're doing a little bit online with some lead generation from internet, but the lion's share of what we do is picking up the phone consistently, making calls, building up, and just following up, and then texting as well. And I think it's really interesting that you mentioned that, Gal, because the texting restrictions have gotten really tight, a lot tighter, but we found that there's more quality leads. I feel like a lot of people have abandoned that. If you need that resource, he talked about batch leads. That's batchleads.io. Don't go .com, it's .io. And make sure you use the coupon code TTP. You get 5,000 free addresses, distressed property addresses that you can download and get for free, which is phenomenal. And then Deal Machine, make sure that you use the coupon code TTP. It's the biggest discount that they have, and get going on that with your driving for dollars, which is basically, if you're totally unfamiliar, that's basically just driving around in your area, in your community, and it's an app that'll show you the information about the properties that own the owners that own the properties that are in rough shape. So simple, right? Simple plan. You put it together. And who's doing the lead follow-up? Is that you, Gal?
Yeah, I'm doing the follow-up by myself. As I said, now I have a VA. Also, he helps me with a few of my tasks. Actually, I had few VAs. Now I found somebody that, is good. It's not easy to find a good virtual assistant.
Sure.
But it's good. He's doing a good job. And then I'm following up. I'm doing, let's say, the acquisition part for now. Eventually I would like somebody to do the disposition and the acquisition, but I'm just starting.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, give you another, I don't know, 30 days. You're moving fast. Well, Gal, I want to break down because you've got a deal that you've got under contract is a nice, juicy, big deal. You got a 24 unit deal under contract. I want to kind of break that down. How'd you find that deal, and what are the economics behind it?
So actually, this deal, it was funny because we actually was like driving for dollars, and we saw this vacant property in not a good shape at all. So it's like a 12-plex. We tried to call the guy, didn't answer for a few days. Eventually, we managed to talk to him, and he had another 12 doors, another like 12-plex in a different entity, in a different company. So eventually, after a lot of conversation with him, we have it under contract. We didn't close it yet. I think it should be soon. And we will buy and hold it, renovate it. We have already the teams to do it, the contractors and everything. And eventually to refinance it and take our money back.
Right. When you get done with this, how much equity do you think will be in that deal?
Hope as much as possible, but I would say at least
400,000.
Yeah, at least. I think
400,000 to your net worth.
In equity. Yeah, I'm not selling it. I will buy it.
I know. But listen, the net worth is all about the assets that you own, right? Versus how much you owe on them. So you're adding 400,000. This is a conversation that you had from a driving for dollars lead that wasn't even the property that you were calling about.
Yeah, I was just driving, saw the property, and I was amazed. I want this property. Yeah. They didn't close it yet.
I'm going to ring this bell. I don't care. It's going to close. I know you, and I know that you're on top of it. 400,000 in equity. One conversation from a driving for dollars lead. Listen, everybody wants to try to overcomplicate this. Let's keep this simple. Talk to people, baby. Talk to people.
Thank you, man.
That's awesome. So, Gal, what's your number? What's your goal in mind? I know you have it. How many, what's the net worth goal? What is it? What are you going for? Clarity brings energy. So what is your goal? What is your goal with your portfolio? Let's get everybody excited before we get out of this podcast.
So my goal, and it was always my goal, is to get to 100 properties for myself, because this property, the 24 units, I still have a partner. So it's like 50%, but eventually to have my 100 properties, and then to do other things. But that's the first thing for myself, that I know that I'm gonna be in a financial and freedom point, that then I can do whatever I want. I could travel, could be more with the family. I actually had my first boy a month ago, so to spend as much time with him as possible, and he's amazing.
What's his name?
Adam Michael Schmuckler. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. So,
thank you so much.
Give the audience a way to reach you. Maybe they're in Tel Aviv. Maybe they want to reach out. Maybe they're here locally. Maybe they're in Houston, or they're in Jacksonville or Austin, and they just want to squat up with you and connect with you. What's the best way for people to do that?
Yeah. So the best way is just send me a message in Facebook. My name is Gal Schmuckler, but not SCH, SH. So the passport shows something different.
We'll put it all in the show notes. If you need help getting the name there. If you're just listening to the podcast, you can definitely check us out on the Brent Daniels YouTube channel. Watch the video of it and get the name and all the spelling there as well. So very simple, a couple clicks away. Come join us on YouTube as well. Well, Gal, what an inspiration. I mean, listen, some people spend the average is about 5 months before closing the first deal. You got it done in about half that time. Got your first one under contract in 3 weeks. by just being proactive and taking action and following the instructions. And it's just incredible. Now you're off and running. You've built a portfolio. You got 3 buy and hold. You're looking to buy another one, and you've got 7 under contract, and probably keeping some of those as well and selling some of those. So remember, guys, it's not all about the cash up front. It's also about the equity that you have. If you have the opportunity, if you don't have to live off it, keep the equity. It's going to pay you way more in the long run than taking a check now. If you need that money to replace your income to get you out, take it now. Take it now, wholesale them, get a big, healthy, happy, heavy bank account so that you can open up your schedule to do this business full time. But Gal is giving us a beautiful example of the smart thing to do for building wealth, right? Not just making money, but building wealth. So Gal, so excited to have you on here.
Thank you so much, man.
It was fast. I loved it. You know, we talked a lot in the beginning, and you've been going absolutely bananas. So that is awesome. So thank you, Gal, for being on the podcast.
So much,
for everybody out there, if you're interested in joining the most proactive group in real estate investing, it is the TTP family. It is the TTP coaching program. Go to wholesalinginc.com/TTP. That's wholesalinginc.com/TTP. Check it out. Check out all the testimonials. Keep scrolling. Google it. Do whatever you need to do. Do your research. And if it feels good in your gut, sign up for a call. Join us. I look forward to working with you personally. And that's it. Gal, again, thank you for joining us. And for everybody out there, I love you. And I encourage you, as always, to talk to people. Till next time. See you guys.